Peace, everybody. Yo, I want to let y'all check this video out about child support to show y'all what I've been trying to tell y'all for a long time, how child support is not about that physical living and breathing child. Let me show you. I'm going to share this video. Give me 1 second here. There we go.
I interviewed Eddie Curry.
Mm-hmm.
You know who he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he went into this really interesting story about how, he had a baby with his high school sweetheart. Then he joined the NBA. They got divorced right away. She, took him to court for child support, whatever. They worked something out. Right before the child turned 18, she took him to court and said that he hasn't been paying anything.
He hasn't?
And he said, "No, Your Honor, I've paid over $1 million. Here's all the receipts. Here's this check here, cashier's check here, whatever, wire transfer. Here's all my receipts." And the judge said, "Well, this wasn't paid through the state. Mm-hmm. This was paid directly to her. So therefore, it's a gift. So now you owe."
So you see what he just said. It's a gift when you pay directly to the mother. See, he was paying for the actual biological child. The state is saying you didn't give us for our child, the one on the birth certificate, the one on the Social Security card. See, those are two different children. You have that's the legal child he didn't pay for. And they told him, see, they don't really know what's going on. Oh, wait a minute, because they think I have to pay through the state. So, they don't tell you that the whole child support system is only for the fiction. That's it. Their legal child, the one that the birth certificate was created for, their estate, the one they control. But let me finish playing this so you can get the full context of everything.
Over $1 million in back child support.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting served with papers for back child support because I never went in and modified my child support from $16,000, and I had been giving her money the whole time. I would just give her cash. I would send it to her account, but I wasn't paying it through the state. Like whenever, so they basically went in and said, "All right, well, you didn't pay the state of Illinois. So basically, you didn't give her nothing." And I'm telling the judge, like, "Look, I got documents. These are receipts from cashier's checks. This is over $1 million I've given this girl." They're like, "No, that was a gift. If you didn't give it to the state of Illinois, that was a gift." I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Wow.
Yeah, bro. So they
I interviewed.
See that? It's a gift. They don't care about children. It's not about the children. It's about them getting their cut. Because when they enforce child support, they get a cut. They get for their child. See, that's the problem. We think that this child support system is all about the welfare of the child. Yeah, it is. Their child. Their legal fiction. And that's why we have to know what's going on in the courtroom. The words you think they're using, you think you know what the meaning is? That's not the meaning. Your assumptions is always wrong when it comes to court. They're speaking Latin in that courtroom. Yes, it's Latin language. And you need to understand what all that language is. I've helped many guys get out of these situations. Because once I helped them understand what they were facing in that courtroom, it changes things. See, I'm not going to get on to all of the methods that I've used and how I used to get out of it, but I just wanted you to see the reality of what's happening. And one other thing I'm going to add. I got to throw this out there. The people that's sending us off to jail, that's getting us caught up into legal problems, it ain't white folks. It ain't the system. It's our own people. You see this brother? He was paying for almost 18 years, and a woman decided for whatever reason to go and say he wasn't paying. He proved that he paid $1 million in child support in 18 years of this child's life, and she still went to court. See, it ain't, listen, The problem ain't other communities. The problem is within our community, how we hate each other so much we go after each other. The Bible says clearly not to take your brother or sister to court. It says that. Because this is what happens when you get under man's jurisdiction instead of staying under God's jurisdiction. And with that being said, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all. I just want to tell you, daddy are being sacrificed. And that's, if your stuff's not available, they can't hear it. Sometimes you got to feel your way through the dark. And I struggled all the way up into the minute. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.
Didn't unmute. Peace. What's up? It's Tuesday, February the 6th. 1 week down of the first week of February. We're already a week down, 3 more to go. This is going to be a short month. It's like 28 days. Is this a leap year day? Yeah. I don't know. But anyway. Y'all saw that video. It's crazy, right? The guy paid $1 million and they tell him, imagine going to court and you as a person, I don't care, man or woman, you taking care of your child, you done invested $1 million in cash. That's what he can account for. I'm sure he probably did some other things like family trips, vacations, bought clothes that didn't have, I know from my own experience, I contributed a lot to the wellness of my children. So, but on top of financially supporting the other stuff I added in that I didn't add up, vacations, the clothes and the food, different things I just bought, doctor's appointments and stuff like that. And then you get in the courtroom and you think, hey, I got it. I got this in a bag. I'm good. I done put $1 million confident. And then they tell you that's a gift. You just gave a gift to take care of your child. We not counting that because you didn't give us that money. Wait a minute. When did I go to bed with you? When did you and I sleep together? Is my mic set sounding pretty good? How am I sounding out there, y'all? How am I sounding? Somebody give me a text or something to say I'm good, please. I don't want to keep going and I'm not. I think I'm good. I'm confident that I am. Nobody's hit me up in the chat. Come on, y'all. I know there's a delay in here. They say all thumbs up. Thank you, Mad Max. Thanks, big man, Master Abel. Thank you. That deserves a shout out. So it's like, what did the state? Well, I gotta pay you in order for it to be considered that I took care of my child. I gotta give it to you. Yeah, thank you. All you people, I should have some more thumbs up. It's only got 4. It's 9 people in here. I know that's not a whole lot. I mean, please, thumbs up. Thank you. I got to give it to you. That would knock me over. Like, what? Now, I have a very similar story to that. Now, it wasn't as long, my oldest son, I took care from day one, saw him being born at the hospital. He was premature. He was only a few pounds, had to stay in the hospital until he got to be 5 pounds. I went to the hospital every day, stood over his incubator. And sometime after he was born, maybe 8 months after he got out of the hospital, I got a letter at the job talking about, they want me to pay this child support, blah, blah, blah. And I did the same thing this brother did. I brought receipts. I never forget, I had a briefcase full of receipts. They told me that was voluntary. Then they also told me we can't give you credit for that because we don't have all of that. Those receipts that I had was prior to the petition was being filed. So they would have given me credit if I had some receipts between the time they filed the petition and I went to court. So it was like 2 months. So I got no credit for that. Then to make matters worse, once they got me into child support, they said mail the payments to this address. So I promptly did my thing. I mailed it out there. Then I get a letter a couple of weeks later saying that I wasn't paying, that I'm in default, and they want to garnish my wages. I got on that. Hey, man, I got the receipts. Here's my postal money orders. Oh, we ain't got it yet. Well, I mailed it. I mailed it to your address. You're telling me I didn't pay. We can't count that because we don't have it yet. So in the midst of them doing that, there was 2 problems that happened. They were supposed to be taking the money every 2 weeks because I only got paid every 2 weeks. They had set take the money out of my check every week. They do this on purpose, y'all. I'm telling y'all, they do this stuff on purpose to keep you in poverty. And I had to go correct that. They said, well, in order for us to correct us, stop us from taking your money. This is child support. This is not the court. Take your money every week. You need to show us the court order. Wait a minute. You have everything on the record. That's what I'm telling y'all. That's how I'm able to help you. I just told y'all the secret. That's how I'm able to get y'all out of these things. Child support agency is nothing but a third-party debt collector. So they can be treated as such. So you mean to tell me you guys are the one who went to the court and said that I wasn't paying and I needed to be garnished? And even in their determination, it said every 2 weeks, but they had set it for every week. So they were killing my check. I was probably getting out of my check, the money they were taking, I probably at that for a whole month, I was probably getting maybe $100 out of my check. Right? Y'all think Akeem, he can't identify with y'all problems. I'm 54 years old. I dealt with this game in my 20s. And I could tell some of y'all not doing y'all due diligence because I was on. Every time there's a problem, I went down there and confronted these people. This is how I know how evil this system is. See, they don't want to hear nothing you got to say. And I'm showing you, well, I was like, how do I live off of this? Well, we ain't fixing it until you go get us the court order. So I had to go to the courthouse, get the court order to show that it was only supposed to be 2 weeks. To bring them, see how crazy that is? They're the ones who said I wasn't, they knew all this stuff about what they weren't getting, but I had to prove that I was only supposed to pay taking out every 2 weeks. But they didn't have to prove nothing. So went, got the court order, and the guy, the clerk, to get me the records was real cool. He said, man, let me tell you something. Child support is a scam. He said, what they do is they tell you guys to mail these payments off. When they don't tell you, you could just walk the payment in to the office and pay it right there at the office, right around the corner. Now, I worked at the World Trade Center, so I walked in walking distance of the child support place. I could walk there. But no one ever told me that I could go there and pay. They said, the lady, I remember the lady that stood in there, the cop, the bailiff, said, she gave me a piece of paper, this is where you mail all your payments. They do this stuff on purpose. And those 2 payments that I mailed didn't get credited to my account until 8 to 9 months later. They finally put it on my account. He said they purposely don't open their mail. See the fraud and the misrepresentation that goes on? But see, no one fights these people. And as I was talking, I was thinking I should go back and sue them sons. Because now that I recognize the fraud, my statute of limitations has not ran out. I just recognized it. That's fraud. You didn't give me all of my options that I could pay so that I can stay in current with this. See, remember fraud. Once you understand fraud, misrepresentation, and deliberate concealment of information, your statute of limitations don't run out. Even if it doesn't go anywhere, we should just sue their ass off just to get them in court so we can expose this nonsense. They don't see, the thing is, they don't want y'all in court. They don't want y'all suing them. That's why they do so much to keep you broke. This is another form of slavery, to enslave people. And once I read to you the history, how this even started, going back to the 1950s, y'all gonna see how crazy this whole system is. The system wasn't designed for just going after the average guy to pay child support. The system was strictly designed for people who were unwilling to take care of their children. And that's why there's a lot of women with this. I had a argument some years ago with someone I was really cool with who assumed that just because a guy was on child support, he was a deadbeat. And I was like, what are you talking about? Most of the guys that's on child support are not deadbeats. These guys were already taking care of the kids. It's because the mother decided to go to the state and suck on their titty for some money. Now the state want their money. They go lie to the people and tell them, oh, the father's not in the picture. Or they just go get the money and then they say, well, who's the father? And then they go after him. They don't care whether you've been taking care of that child prior to that. That's how you know it's not interested in the well-being of children. Because if I was being just, okay, what have you been doing for this child? Oh, you've been taking care of it? Show me. Okay, well, we don't need to burden this guy. He's already doing his job. Like I was, this guy was. But it was like that whole $1 million wasn't a credit. And he was they put him in $1 million in debt to child support because he didn't pay them. That's jacked up. I want to use some other words. Now, like I could feel his pain because that's how I felt when I was like, how do I volunteer to take care of my child? It's my job. They don't care about your willingness to be a real father. All they care about is getting that money so that they can get paid. That's it. And the ones that perpetrate it or enforce it are under these illusions that all of these guys are deadbeat. We got to get them and make them pay. See, let me go. Let me show y'all. Let me share this with you. I'm going back to Sundays is going to be my motivation. I'm going back to teaching on Tuesdays, showing y'all stuff, getting y'all out of these problems. We're going back to the old school, how I used to run it on Tuesday, show y'all, get y'all some liberty. That fired me up seeing that video because I did the same thing happen to me, and I'm sure the same thing happened to thousands of other brothers out there. And if you got anybody you know right now that you could text, send the link to, y'all better send them this link. Because this might be the video they need to see to help them get out of this trap. Y'all better get your boys online. Yo, I came back into teaching mode on Tuesdays. Now, I was teaching y'all before. I was teaching y'all spirituality and using your mind. And one thing I will say, a lot of y'all are falling short in the area of taking care of your business, not so much taking care of child. When these y'all just let these court orders run amok. Even that guy said, well, I never went back and, I wasn't paying through them. He just made assumptions. I didn't make no damn assumptions. When my income changed, I went down there and got it amended. And they said, okay, we'll shut it down for 8 months until you get yourself on your feet. And let me tell y'all something. Let me keep it real with y'all. We're going to get it all the way real. The first time I got into child support, it was a brother sitting across from me. The administrative clerk was a brother. And he treated me like shit in that place. I came with the briefcase, and he asked me, was I the father? I said, yes, that's a trap. That right there. See, I didn't understand what they meant by, am I the father? I'll come back to that. He was nice until I said, yes, I'm the father, and wouldn't let me speak. And I was like, yo, I've been taking care of my child. I have receipts. Because they would treat me like I would. The way they talk to you is like you never did anything for your child. Like you a bum. They treat you like that. I'm like, nah, hold up, buddy. I got receipts for all. I bought the crib. I bought his clothes. Everything. He's getting his formula, his diapers, all that. Here's the receipts. I had 8 months worth of receipts. But from before he was born. Because people say, oh, keep your receipts, keep your receipt. I was listening to the street tell me what to do. I didn't go to the rules of the court to find out what I needed to do. So if I'd have done that, I had a better information. We listen to all of this hearsay nonsense out here. And what I'm saying, y'all be running short because y'all don't know what's going on. Y'all need somebody like myself, but at the same time, you need to go read those rules and what they say. The remedy is in the rules. When I figured out taking a paternity test, all that stuff is all part of giving them jurisdiction. When I figured out that meeting, that initial meeting is voluntary, I don't care what nobody say. Signing up for that child support is a voluntary action on your part. Because once you accept and answer all of their stuff, you're saying, you giving them the evidence to use against you. The whole proceeding is adversarial. It's not about justice. It's not about the truth. And some of these rules, a woman could be married to a man, and if a child is born there, that child is assumed to be that father's, and it can be subject to paying child support, even though he is not the biological father. So she went and had a good time with somebody else, got her thing, got her pleasure out of somebody else, but it's gonna make the other brother pay. And I don't want to hear all of this stuff about only men to be the ones cheating. I used to watch Maury. And they used to say a lot of times, you are not the father. And I was reading a statistic about a month ago. They say 30 to 40% of the paternity tests that they're taking, the guy that they're bringing to court is not the father. And y'all wanted to get somebody, it's more women than men in the world. More women than men. And when it comes to infidelity, men and women are neck and neck. So if there's more women and we're neck and neck in the infidelity field, that means a hell of a lot of women out there cheating. So brothers, in this day and age, y'all need to be, if y'all want to have some children, make sure y'all married. Have a viable relationship. Stop having children. In a way, it's our fault. We're having children without having the family unit together. A lot of these problems we solve is we just stick together as family. That solves it right there. All of these issues that we're running into with the fatherless homes. And what I was about to say is, we as a community can complain all we want about the man got us, the system this and system that, but it was a sister that took him into court after he gave up a meal, wanted more money, didn't care. It's our own people putting us under the system and putting us in slavery. So we need to check ourselves. See, the system can't do anything for you or to you if you're not going to the system for any type of assistance. It's all contractual. You gotta get in there. You gotta agree to this stuff. Here, let me share my screen. We are the problem in our own community. Y'all get mad at me or what? We the problem. Because it's like any abusive situation. You don't get abused unless you still standing there allowing yourself to be abused. Get out of there. Stop messing with that stuff. and the sisters have been using that system as a tool to get back at the man because they're angry with him because he broke their heart maybe or whatever happened. Yes. I know plenty of brothers that take care of their children day in, day out. My business partner I met, every day he's taking his girls off to school, picking them up. He's the one doing that. He's doing something for them. Listen, all the people that are in my circle that I talk to and have conversations, they fathers. My homeboy from New York sent his son off to college with a good bank account. So I don't see what these statistics, well, there is really, the statistics say that brothers are more likely to spend more time with their children and are taking care of children, but these political parties are not they're not highlighting that. Out of all the groups, they say the brothers are more likely to do it. They're the ones doing it. But they play that down. But let somebody do something they don't like. They play that up. Right now, we worrying about what the brothers are doing in Hollywood. You know, how I would have put that. The brothers are doing what they doing behind closed doors to get ahead. That's more important to us. See, stuff like this should be important to us because this is the type of stuff that's keeping us broke as a community. Think about it. Think about what happened to me. They took all that money from me, all the money for a whole month or so, a little more than that. I was only getting $100 out of my check. So I was $200. I had rent to pay, I had a car note, and it was ripping my check like that with no sympathy. They didn't care. And I came in thinking I was ahead, taking care of my son. That's why I help brothers with child support, because I know the pain. I've been there. But I didn't let it get out of hand where I had all these crazy arrears. This guy's with arrears, and the kids are 30 years old. They still owe $100,000. Crazy. No way I would let it get out of hand like that. But then by the grace of the mothers, and it's also about the women you pick too, because I was always able to get along. At first, my oldest son mother, we bumped heads. We were young. I met her, she was 19. I was 20. Then as we matured, we was like, I know you. She was like, I know you got this. And we got rid of the child support system. And everybody lived happily ever after. We got the state out of our business eventually. So I had to deal with that maybe for about 3 years, 4 years tops. But I learned something. I had an old head tell me, don't argue with her. Let her be right. Let her be. Let her, one time she was trying to get under my skin about me. I made it a habit of picking up my son on Fridays. I stopped partying. You can ask my boy, Thomas, we partied. Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday. As soon as that weekend came, we was clubbing it up. But when my son hit the scene, that stopped. Fridays was me picking him up and spending the weekend with him. So one Friday, she said, I'm not letting you see your son. This is when we was in conflict. And I had my old school brother came to me and said, yo, just, when she said that, just don't let it get to you. Just tell her just act like you're happy about it. So I was like, I just met someone else. And I was like, and she knew that. And I was like, my two boys, Xavier, Akeem Jr. and Javon's mom. That's how I met her. And I was like, Oh, that's cool. I just met somebody. We going out. You know, that's cool. I was gonna take him with us, but you know, all right, that's all right. Hung up the phone, man. 2 minutes later, she's calling. You could come get him because she told him I can reach my program. But we ended up. I went and picked him up, and we went out to Sylvia's up in Harlem. You see, and when I did it, because the old school dude said, the old head said, yo, just trust me what I say. Just do that. You'll see how it works. I said, man, that's magic. See, that's what I teach you. There's no conflict if you don't participate. There is no conflict if you don't participate. Don't participate. Let it go. Man, the numbers are rising. 20, man, y'all must be, keep sending the message. I'll talk so long before I go into this teaching. Come on, get them likes up. Send the message out. They're gonna have to press the recording. Send it out. Oh, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up my Telegram room. If y'all brothers got child support issues, y'all can get in here and ask me some questions. Where's my Telegram? Oh, there it is. I'm about to live stream it. I'll give y'all the link in a second. Where's all right. Turn the mic on. And let me get y'all the link if y'all want to get on and ask some questions. You got child support issues? Y'all better get on here now. There's the link in the chat. And I'll add it up here so y'all can see it. There's the link. Y'all get in there and talk to me live. Live. Now, if you're going to get in there, you're going to have to turn your volume down on the YouTube. 22, come on. Get them people in here. Thumbs up. I'll give it a couple more minutes. So, before I go in and really go in on this, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a short break and come back because I'm in the process of making some bread. I want to make sure my son putting that thing in the oven. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. I'll add it in, but maybe that's good I didn't record that part. Y'all the only ones that heard me say that about the trustee relationship, and y'all the only ones that need to say it. Certain things I won't say out there because it shuts down all of their little theories. And the reason why that stuff don't work is it's just fantasy. It's not that you're doing anything wrong with the process or there's something missing. It's not how beneficiaries, all they did was, like she said, challenge that trust, and then I don't know what happened with that case.
It was thrown out. They determined.
Did the beneficiaries get what they want? They didn't get anything.
Because he was following the trust indenture.
Right. He was following the rules of the trust indenture. Right. Okay. See? But if he wasn't following the trust indenture, what happened?
It could have been collapsed.
Right. But now, all right, I'm back. Yeah, he handling his business with that. He got it. He got the bread. I'm on some like bread kick right now. This is my thing. And I got two, like he's making a regular bread with some olive oil spread on it. Then I made another batch that I'm gonna cook tomorrow. I'm trying to think when I set that up. It was this afternoon. So early in the morning, it'll be ready because I let it ferment for about 14 hours. But anyway, that one's going to be my walnut cinnamon bread that I made. See, now when I go to the store, I can't even look at bread anymore. Like, I don't want that. All right, looks like we got enough people. We got the likes up, 15 likes. I love that. Let's go. Let's teach on this. Let me read y'all something. So this is going to be about the child support overview. Let me get this out of the way. This screen is in my way over here. Let's move you over here. All right. It says overview. Make this a little bigger. In 1950, when only a small minority of children were in female-headed families, and so in the 1950s, it was a minority. Single-parent homes, single-mom homes was a minority. The federal government took its first step into child support arena. Congress amended the Aid to Families with Dependent Children, AFDC law, by requiring state welfare agencies to notify law enforcement officials when benefits were being furnished to a child who had been abandoned by one of his or her parents. So the government stepped in and said, you need to let us know when we're paying for somebody when one parent, and it wasn't mother or father, had abandoned the child. Presumably, the local officials would then undertake to locate non-resident parents and make them pay child support. That's what that was for parents who abandoned. From 1950 to 1975, the federal government confined its child support efforts to these welfare children. So, y'all see it. Child support was only for the fight to get that money was for children who had been abandoned and was receiving benefits. With this exception, most Americans thought child support establishment and collection was a domestic relations issue that should be dealt with at the state level by the courts. By early 1970s, however, Congress recognized that the composition of AFDC caseload had changed drastically. In earlier years, the majority of children needed financial assistance because their fathers had died. By the 1970s, the majority needed aid because their parents were separated, divorced, or never married. You see, from the 1950s to the 1970s, we started to see this dynamic of the family structure change. But coincidentally, what was going on? The government stepped in and started giving people money. And because they were getting that free money, all of a sudden, the family structure started to deteriorate because there was an incentive on not being together. See how diabolical that became? How sinister that was? 1950s, it was a minority. By the 1970s, it had increased. Divorces went up. Separations went up. Why? Because one party, I ain't going to say which one, saw a benefit in not having a man in the home. Okay? See, y'all need to read between the lines. The child support, there was a video from the 70s where it was a bunch of little young sisters talking about men, and father said, wow, they wanted babies, but they didn't want any man. I don't need no man. I want a baby though, because I can get child support. This was in the 70s. It was about 3 or 4 young sisters talking like this. So that means they were being taught that. Plus, I saw that with my own eyes. Growing up in Edenwald Projects in the Bronx. I saw that. I heard mothers, when you young, they don't know. Let me take this off the screen. They don't know that you listening. And you hear the young mothers, the older women talking to the younger girls. Yeah, he gets you pregnant. You just go down there and get some welfare. We call it welfare in New York. and some food stamps. You good. You got yours. That's they. And here's the thing: they were being taught that they never was taught to make the man responsible for the child. Why? Because the state's going to kick in on that. They're going to take care of that. And they want you to take care of that because there's a specific reason why they want you to allow them to do it. Let's keep going. In early years, the majority of children needed financial assistance because their fathers had died. By the 1970s, the majority needed aid because their parents were separated, divorced, or never married. By the way, this is right straight from the government website. So let me give you this link. I'm not reading this from a website, from some just so willy-nilly, jackleg website. This is the government's website. When I teach from their stuff. Okay? The Child Support Enforcement and Paternity Establishment Program, enacted in 1975, was a response by Congress to reduce public expenditures on welfare by attaining support from non-custodial parents on an ongoing basis to help non-AFDC families get support so they could stay off public assistance, and to establish paternity for children born outside of marriage so child support could be obtained for them. So they upgraded the program to include people who wasn't on AFDC so that get support from the non-custodial parent so that those children wouldn't go on welfare. That was the supposed intent. I believe it was at that time. That was the intent. Let's get these people that are not paying, and these fathers, whoever it was, mostly it was fathers, let's call it what it is, that are deadbeats, and get them. But see, somewhere along the line, it transformed into something more diabolical. It transformed past what the intention was. Now it's just a cast a wide net and get whoever we can, no matter what they're doing. As you can see, the brother was paying $1 million. They didn't care about that. That's voluntary. You didn't give it to us. You didn't give me my money. We the pimps in this game. And you my hoe. Where's my money? That's how they got treated. Yo, you ain't give me mine, bro. Where's my money? That's how they got him. $1 million, bro. I don't care about what you gave to her. Taking care of that child. See, you could tell they didn't care about the child. They only cared about them getting the money. See, but once you understand what child they're talking about, they're not talking about a living, breathing child. They're talking about a legal child, legal fathers. Those are entities on paper. Those are not living entities. See, he didn't pay the legal child. He didn't pay for that child. When they're establishing a court order, they're establishing a court order for the legal child and making the legal father or the legal mother pay. All right? That's why they have to have you sign those forms so that they can convert you into the legal father. You are not the legal father until you agree, sign off on all of those documents. Now, when a child is born, birth certificate, they have what you call a birth certificate acknowledgement affidavit to say, I am the legal father. And because you say you're the legal father, we can come and make you pay us when we want to. And that application specifically tells you need to seek legal advice before signing this. It don't say in there, well, if you're the father, you need to sign this. It says, no, you need to seek legal advice before you sign it because this comes with some legal responsibilities. There's some ramifications for this. So, non-custodial parents on an ongoing basis to help non-AFDC families get support so they can stay off public assistance, and to establish paternity for children born outside marriage so child support could be obtained for them. The 1975 legislation, Public Law 93-46647, added a new Part D to Title IV of the Social Security Act. This statute, as amended, authorizes federal matching funds. Y'all hear it? See, this is when it got real good or real crazy. Federal matching funds to be used for enforcing support obligations by locating non-residential parents, establishing paternity, establishing child support awards, and collecting child support payments. Since 1981, child support agencies have also been permitted to collect spousal support on behalf of custodial parents. And in 1984, they were required to petition for medical support as part of most child support orders. So the government expanded its reach on collections. Why? Why would you expand this all of a sudden? Because the federal government is matching the funds. They're getting paid. It costs them nothing to enforce child support on the state level because the federal government is going to match them and cover their cost. Now, why would the government do that? Why? And where the hell are they getting the money from to do it? Where? They printing it? Let's look at this. Let's take this to another. Let's say I'm just gonna do I'm asking Google how many people are paying child support in the U.S. So they don't give me a number, but they say 44% of custodial parents receive the full amount of. I don't know. Okay, let's see if this will do it. How many single parents have child support order in place, either formal or informal? How much? 12.1% are informal. 7.9 of those child supporters are formal agreements. They don't give me. Let's just say it's in the millions. So they getting millions of dollars from the government to enforce child support. Now you get why the states are so hard up on enforcing it, because they're getting free money. And then not only they get matching funds, they also get money for each part of the case. The petition, the paternity test, the paternity orders, the child support orders. And guess what? Both parents are on child support. I don't know, your sisters think y'all not on child. Y'all are. Y'all just, because you're the non-custodial parent, you just don't have to pay your part. But when they ask for both people's income, oh, how much you make? Okay, this is your share, this is my share. So they're producing two different, they're getting money for two orders of child support. The only person that feels it out of their pocket is the non-custodial parent, because they put it in the order. Remember I told y'all that story about someone I was dating, and I had suggested that the son go stay with his father, and because he needed that male guidance. And I also gave her full disclosure. I said, once you go over there, you're going to have to pay your portion of child support, which you're supposed to pay. She argued me up, and I ain't got to pay. They ain't got me no court order. I said, yes, they do got you no court order to pay child support. Did you read your order? So she went and got her order. I pulled it out. I said, see, it has your income, and it shows your share of the child support. See, it got his income, and it shows his share of the child support. Now, because he's going to become the custodial parent, you're going to have to pay that amount. Yeah, it's an order for you to pay child support. But you were so happy that he got to pay, you didn't realize you put yourself in the trap too. Now, she agreed with me that the son needed to go to the father. She was all for it until she found that out. He never went. And guess what Akeem did? Akeem just slid on off. Because at that point, you don't really care about the boy. You care about the money more than his mental well-being. And that a lot of that stuff is going on. But listen, I'm going to call it like it is. The people that's, like I said earlier, are trapping us off is our own people. These other groups got problems of their own, and that's all they worrying about, their problems. They ain't thinking about us. We like to believe they thinking about us so we can make excuses for not getting our stuff together. We like to believe that. Oh, yeah, this, that. No, it's us. And what I was saying about I don't think I ever finished that part of the story with the brother, it was a white guy at the courthouse who was nice, and he said, yo, they don't open their mail, man. And he put me up on game. But when I went to all the people that looked like me treated me like shit, made assumptions that I was a deadbeat dad because I was on child support. Most of the brothers that's on child support are not deadbeat dads. They're on it because, one, that child was receiving some form of public assistance, and the people want to know we need that money from him so we can take care of our child, not yours, ours. Not the legal father, the legal child. We need to get him. We need to make him the legal father. See, once they make him the legal father, now he becomes a fiction to them. Now they can get money from him. See, the key is not to look like the fiction, the ins legis, as I call it, or as the slang on the street and in some places called the straw man. Not to look like that in the courtroom. Make it very clear. Y'all want me to put y'all on game? I'm gonna give y'all something. I'm gonna give y'all a little tidbit before I'm gonna go back to reading this. See, because I talked about the fiction, right? How do you not look like the fiction? Let me read something to you. I'm not going to share the screen because this is so y'all better get y'all pens and papers out and get the writing. Get your pen out. Trying to get my file open. Let's see, where is it? Where's the document at? Oh, here it is. This is fresh and hot off the press. This is fresh and hot off the press. I'm gonna leave names out for the sake of this. So y'all ready to write? Y'all ready? Let me see. Let me see what the chat says. Somebody put a thumbs down. Haters in the building. Oh, you're not doing something good if you ain't getting haters. Oh, let's see. Where's my chat button at? Someone called my is Legas. Yes, I called your name. Y'all ready? Somebody put in the chat they're ready so I can read this thing, and let me know y'all got your pens out. Remember, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a minister disseminating the word of God. All right. I'm waiting for somebody to type in the chat that they're ready to write this down. Nobody ready? I'm gonna go on ahead. Okay. This is a notice in motion to dismiss that I'm helping. Here it is. Presenting this, y'all ready? Presenting himself, first name, last name, upper and lowercase. That means you need to put that in upper and lowercase. In his spiritual capacity, but distinct from the legal entities, all cap, first name, last name, or last name, first name, all cap. Hereby notifies the court and files a motion to dismiss the petition in question for the reasons outlined below. That's how you should be introducing yourself. In there. I'll say it again. Presenting himself, first name, last name, upper and lower, in his spiritual capacity, but distinct from the legal entities, first name, last name in all caps, or last name, first name, hereby notifies the court of distinct from legal entity. Notify the court and files a motion to dismiss the petition in question for the reasons outlined below. And then you state your reasons. I'm not going to all that. Y'all want that. Y'all want that. The whole thing. You need help, you got to contact me at keemel.com. Keemel.com. Oh, Akeemel.net. Contact me there. It'll be still Akeemel.com, but I'm making a transition. So the new website is Akeemel.net, and the old one is Akeemel.com. But both of those domains will be moved over to the new website pretty soon. Okay? Get a consultation, and I'll be there to help you as a spiritual advisor. That's all I do. All right, let's go back to what I was reading. I gave y'all that tool. So, basic responsibility for administering the program is left to the states, but the federal government plays a major role in dictating the major design features of state programs, funding, monitoring, and evaluating state programs, providing technical assistance, and giving assistance to states in locating absent parents and obtaining support payments. See, they're supposed to find absent parents, but we all know a lot of these brothers, they're not absent. They just absent because of what? How are they absent? Legally, they're absent because they are not identified and designated to be the legal father. So in the legal sense, in the statutes, they are absent. See, you're physically around your child, taking them, doing all those things. But that the state don't see you because you haven't established yourself as the legal father. So we got to go find you and make you the legal father, make you a fiction. Because that case revealed, if that was just the case that it was really about the child, they would have gave him credit for that $1 million. He took care of his child. No, you didn't take care of my child, the state's child, the one that was created by the birth certificate and the Social Security card. That child, you didn't take care of that one. So we need our cut. Now give it up, ho. I'm tripping. I ain't even drinking. I have no alcohol in me today. Okay? The program requires the provision of child support enforcement services for both welfare and non-welfare families and requires states to publicize frequently through public service announcements the availability of child support enforcement service. So they got to advertise, market. together with information about the application fee and a telephone number or address to obtain additional information. Local family and domestic courts and administrative agencies, they told you, administrative agencies handle the actual establishment and enforcement of child support obligations according to federal, state, and local laws. So, administrative agencies are the main ones. The child support program generally does not provide services aimed at other issues between parents, such as property settlement, custody, and access to children. These issues are handled by local courts with the help of private attorneys. See, they don't care about custody. The guys go to those courts. I'm getting custody of my child. Then they get jacked up and bamboozled into child support, trying to seek custody. Every guy that came to me, I'm going to get custody. I'm going to do this. I said, don't do it. Because now you gotta make yourself the legal father. And once you do that, you're going to lose that custody case. Not because you're right. It's because the state has a vested interest in making you the legal father so that they can get their money. That's all they care about. They don't care about where the child is and the mental health of the child. They don't care two rat's ass about that. Any parent who needs help in locating an absent parent. See, this is supposed to be for help locating. These supposed women know what these guys are. Establishing paternity, establishing a support obligation, or enforcing child obligation may apply for CSE services. Parents receiving benefits or who formerly received benefits under the successor program to AFDC, Temporary Assistance for Needy Children, Families, or TANF, the Federal Assisted Foster Care Program, or the Medicaid program, automatically receive CSE services. Services are free to such recipients, but others, i.e. non-welfare clients, are charged up to $25 for services. State can charge fees based on sliding scale, pay fees out of state funds, or recover the fees from the non-custodial parent. So that means that one parent can go create a contract that can be enforced on the other party who didn't create the contract. In 1996, Public Law 104-193, the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996, abolished AFDC and related programs and replaced them with TANF block grant program. So there's a grant, free money. Under the new law, each state must operate a CSE program meeting federal requirements in order to be eligible for TANF funds. In addition to abolishing AFDC, Public Law 104-93 made about 50 changes to CSE program, many of them major. These changes include requiring states to increase the percentage of non-custodial parents identified, establishing an integrated automated network linking all states to information about the location and assets of parents, requiring states to implement more enforcement techniques, revising the rules governing the distribution of past due arrearage, child support payments, or former recipients of public assistance. So 1996, now it's during this time where the rampant misrepresentation and a lot of men got mistreated in this system when they started these programs after 1996 under Public Law 104-193. Here's the demographic trends. The need for an effective child support program is clearly supported by a brief review of the demographic trends of American family. By 2001, there were an estimated 11.5 million single-parent families with children under age 18. About 9.2 million, 80%, I was looking for numbers, they were right here, were maintained by the mother, and roughly 9.2 million were maintained by the mother, and roughly 2.3 million by the father. So at, let's say, $9.2 million they getting in support. They get matching funds. Matching funds. So let's just say on a small $100 per one of these. Just look at see the money we're talking about that they're getting. See the money? Why they don't care? They getting broke off by the government. It appears that the rate of growth in the number of single parents has stabilized. The average annual percent increase in the number of one-parent families was 2.1% from 1990 to 2000 and 2.8% from 1980 to 1990. Now, you know this is an old report because it stopped at 2.1, so you know those numbers are through the roof right now. In 2000, about 43% of the mothers had never been married. This was in 2000. We're in 2023 now. 35% were divorced. 18% were separated from their spouse. And about 4% were widowed. This is according to the 2001 census. This is an old document. And the numbers are crazy here. Crazy. It said, of equal concern, dynamic estimates indicated that at least half of all children born in the United States during the late 1970s and early 1980s would live with a single parent before reaching adulthood. For black children, the projection was about 80%. So who's the cause of us having an 80% rate? Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Who's to blame? You can't blame other communities. They're not the ones who forcing us to break up and not get together. I've heard all too many. We grew apart. We just not get along. See, no one has the willingness to work through problems anymore. Issues. And this is why this is happening. So the government is capitalizing on our inability to stick together. They're getting broke off by our inability to work things out. Yeah, you might be getting that child support on a personal level by taking them to court, whatever. You may be doing that. You're getting yours, but that's temporary. That's, 18, 21 years. That's it. What happens after that? You just, a whole generation, a whole mind has been destroyed. See, it should be more important the health of the children, health of the family unit than the dollars. See, the government flashed there was dollars in front of our people, and we went for it, and we destroyed our families because of it. And if anybody's taking that personal, then I must be talking about you. So what? Take it personal. So, hey, it's time to be big boys and big girls now. We're destroying our own community. Because we don't believe that it's necessary to have a two-parent home taking care of a family, having a team. We don't agree with that anymore. I could do it. I could do that. I could that. We don't have that. I could hit even harder, but I ain't. Not tonight, but I might next week. I might go take the sledgehammer out and start really hitting hard and pinpointing some of these real issues that we're dealing with. Let's go to this one, and then that'll be it. Here's an overview. This is right from, here's the website I'm getting this from. It's a government website too. Title 4D of the Social Security Act established a state-federal partnership to provide child support service. States must have a single statewide agency that receives federal funding. See, they receive federal funding and administers the program. States are permitted to fund local jurisdictions into cooperative agreements with others like law enforcement or state courts to provide 4D child support services. A Title 4D case in which A parent is either now or may eventually receive services under Title 4D, such as parent who receives TANF, Medicaid, or foster care payments. Match requirements. Under Title 4D, the federal government reimburses states $2 for every $3 the state spends on eligible program costs for providing child support services. I'm going to tell you right now, that number is part of the money. It gives them $2 for every $3, but also they're not taking the fact that they are getting paid on every aspect of the case: the petition, the court order, the paternity test, the what it takes to get the person, the other parent in the court. See? And as you can see, the more it's clear. The more government intrusion, the more enforcement. The single parent homes skyrocketed. The more the government stepped in, the more we had single family homes. See, before, when there was nowhere to go, the women had to, hey, I ain't got no choice. I better stay here and we got communication issues. I'm gonna stay here because this is where I get my money from. I know some. Oh, he left me because I was abused. I know. I'm gonna hear that. We're not talking about those cases, but then there's some cases where people are saying they're abused and they're not really. But I'm not here to judge that. But what I'm saying, in my circle, all growing up as Jehovah's Witnesses, there was majority of our congregation was 2-parent homes, and guess what? Those people I grew up with, for the most part, are still together. And the ones that are not together, that's because one of the spouses died. Yeah. My homeboy, his mom and dad still together. My mom and dad still together. My other homeboy, his parents still together. My boy D'Artagnan that lived up the street from me, his mother and father still together. So these statistics that they're showing supports, they give these statistics to you so that they can create more business for themselves. Yeah, let's show the worst case scenarios and make that an issue. Boom. It wasn't, see, before they stepped in, it really wasn't an issue. But they publicized it like it was an issue, and then everybody bought into it. And this is how powerful the mind is. Oh, there'd be dads everywhere. And I grew up 70s. We remember all the people I know they had. It was to see a single mom was rare, and it was like, wow, she ain't got no husband. I only know 2 single moms in our congregation, and even them, those single moms, the fathers were regular staples in those children's life. When I'm just looking at my life and who I grew up around in Brooklyn, New York. I was lived in Bronx for a while. In those projects, Edenwald, there was a lot of single moms on welfare. Even my own grandmother was living that lifestyle, and she produced her progeny, her production produced all of that. More, my aunts, all of them, welfare. But my mom got saved because her grandmother, my great grandmother, took her in and introduced her to the Jehovah's Witness lifestyle. Then she passed, but that my mom was the oldest out of all her brothers and sisters. That connection stuck with my mother. So, I know I don't practice Jehovah's Witnesses, but I thank God for it because it's what kept our family together. Those principles. Out of all her brothers and sisters, she remained in her marriage because she had got into a different environment. She got associated with different people. So she became she learned how to be different from her brothers and sisters. Father too. My father was I ain't gonna tell his business. But he was out there doing his thing. But he got religion. Well, religion is a good thing. Especially for those families in the 70s, is what it was the thread that held them together. That Bible. And I thank God for that upbringing. I had great times. And I didn't enjoy all the knocking on the doors and all of the Bible. I didn't need that, but for the most part, I had a great childhood because we used to go to the park as families. Families. All of my friends had mothers and fathers in the home. I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm talking about 10 plus. And we used to play games, baseball at Prospect Park, cookouts, congregational cookouts where different congregations get together and just, they would do the meeting right before, and then we just have a good time in the parks. Man, I miss those days. Boys against the girls, the kids against the parents. Where's that happening today? And why is it not happening today? Because the more the government handed out to our communities, the more we saw that we didn't need each other. And so we broke off and took the government's trash, traded our families in for man's system. And now we are the system that keeps it going. We are the ones that's sucking us dry through these types of systems like child support. Don't let me go in on the taxes. They might shut the whole broadcast down if I start breaking that down to you. Like, I'll talk about that briefly, and then we're going to shut this down. I heard Taraji P. Henson talk about how the government gets 50% of her money. I'm like, the government gets 50% of money because you don't know how to structure your business correctly. That's your fault. You need to understand your business correctly. If she ever hear this brother, how you know that? I know. There's no way. You got these guys with all this other money. The government's not getting 50% of their money. What are you doing? They taking 50 because you getting that money in your social, sis. You're not setting up entities, tax shelters. That's all I got to say on that. Come on now. All right. I think I gave y'all enough to think about tonight. I haven't taught like this in a long time. It's like, what's this? I'm back. It happens like that. All right, y'all. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. Thanks for all the 18 thumbs up and the 1 thumbs out. Thank you. Thank you for your... They're listening. But I bet you learned something tonight, even though you had the thumbs down. You're going to go use it somewhere else. I'm going to work on getting y'all on so we could talk conversations live, getting y'all back to that. We got to get back to that. All right. 19-1, that's a good stat. 19-1. All right, y'all. Until next time. Oh, look forward to the show on Thursday. Level Up Thursday with me and Corinne on Thursdays. First good show. We're gonna work out these technical difficulties that before we do the show. But 21, yeah. Thank you. Oh, I didn't give my shout outs to everybody in the chat. Big Man Noble. Big Man Master Noble says peace. Corinne says happy Tuesday. The co-host of Level Up Thursdays. You know, I always say peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all of you. A big times 10. Discipleship Ministry says peace. JG says peace. C King Bay say peace, everyone. The Mad Max 3 said, Mad Max 3, the fact that you have to decipher between court and child support is knowledge in itself. Yeah. They treat everyone like criminals. Absolutely. That's their job. That's a game they play so that they can look like they're doing something. Somebody saying what page I was on. Oh, I'm sorry I missed that question. But I gave you the link. Everything's there. That's right. I didn't start at the total beginning of it. I started on the background 8-2. I'm sorry, I missed your thing. My bad, bro. Enzliga said, did somebody call his name? Absolutely I did. Enzligas. These are the websites. Keon Mel, I might be pronouncing it. I said, great info and much appreciated. I'm about get on that get on their neck out here in West Virginia. Yeah. Right next door, West Virginia in the house. I see 21. You said, thank you again. Angela Finley says, much love. Preach. Peace. Karina Watson says, peace, peace. That's everybody. Yeah. The more the government put their hands on something, the more they destroy it. And it's on purpose because if they got everybody fighting each other, they getting paid. While we up here fighting each other, they getting billions of dollars off of our disagreements. Billions. And with that being said, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth, and continue moving forward and prospering yourself and doing better. I got up to work out. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. I was able to read for 20 minutes. I worked out. I got all the things I said I wanted to do done. And before I go to bed, I'm going to read some more. Now let me get down here and go finish. My son probably got the bread already made. Let me go get some of that. Peace. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.